What band did you love as a teenager that you're embarrassed of now? Five Finger Death Punch. Lou Bega, smiley face, Aaron Carter. I wouldn't say embarrassed that I liked them, but embarrassed about some of the things they said, mostly old hardcore punk and metal bands. That said, I still saw Fear on Friday in spite of them still singing their old homophobic lyrics. I can still experience the nostalgia without liking them as people. Lost Prophets. Yeah, I was not happy. Ace of Base. I hated Limp Bizkit from the start, but now I get convicted of liking them with the rest of my generation by default. It's not fair. Not fair. Not fair. People from USA, why don't you allow cashiers to sit? Do you really believe that this way they are going to attend you better? Americans are fine with that. The bosses' corporations are not. Hi there, I'm from the US, and I gotta tell you, 95% of people do not give two shits, and would be totally fine with cashiers sitting. It's an antiquated corporate policy from more than a half a century ago, initially put in place to make employees seem more attentive to the customer. Also, Aldi does let their people sit, and anyone will tell you that the last thing you can call Aldi cashiers is inefficient. Literally the only ones who care if cashiers sit are power-hungry managers and idiotic corpos. We do that in Canada too. I had some culture shock when I went to Austria and saw that cashiers have seats, and are actually expected to be less sociable. Was really interesting to see. What are the worst things people romanticize? Stalking is never giving up. Mafia and stalking. Their exes. Joker's Harley. Depression. I'm telling you about the struggles that I face every single day. I don't want you to call me an ewoo mole bean or a hot, edgy depressed bitch. I'm human. And before anyone tries to get the Reddit helpline over here, I have good outlets. I've just experienced this shit before. Sex on the beach directly on the sand. Who wants sand in all their nooks and crannies? Mental illness. Smoking. So fucking gross. Serial killers. Alcoholism. Clinginess, like the texts you every hour to check up on you kind. I can't wrap my head around it. The past. No, everyone didn't have a home with a pool, housekeeper, stay-at-home parent, 4 kids all supported on a grocery store bagger's salary in the 1950s. Gangsters. What is a common belief people have that has no actual proof? That evolution produces optimal creatures. It's a fundamental misunderstanding of how evolution works and a complete denial of the evidence that indicates that evolution results in plenty of dead-end species and outcomes that are just good enough to keep breeding. You know those news trends that only exist to scare suburban parents, like to date myself a bit Gen Chem, rainbow parties, etc. I think those are pretty common. That the push to open tab on the macaroni cheese box is supposed to work. That vaccines cause autism. Lightning never strikes twice in the same place. The plural of an octopus is octopi. Actually, it's octopuses. This is so because it is a Greek, not Latin root. That the earth is flat. Americans have read it. What would you do if the United States were invaded? Get Florida man hopped up on bath salts and let him run rampant through the enemy lines. It'd be like watching a crazed Wendigo tear people limb from limb. Watch all the tax dollars I have paid for the past 20 years go to work. We'd still be going to work, because when it's over, rent is still due at the first of the month and food doesn't buy itself. Probably work from home that day. Traffic would be a bitch. So anyway, I started blastin'. If it's advanced interglacial aliens? Get blasted I guess if it's another country? Watch my taxes go to work. Rudy Tooty point and shooty. I just hope both sides have fun out there. I know I'm probably a little biased here, but we're essentially defended on both sides by mountains and angry rednecks who have spent multiple generations hoping and praying someone would be dumb enough to attack. Continue with my day. It would last about 7 minutes. Of all religions, which one makes the least sense and why? Herbalife. Scientology, probably one we never heard of that existed in a tiny village 4,000 years ago and then died out. Scientology. Something about a science fiction writer who couldn't sell books so he turned them into a religion. Yeah, there's this lot who believe in the divinity of Prince Philip. There must have been tens of thousands of bizarre beliefs throughout human history. It's thought there are at least 6,000 religions today, with all of them thinking the other 5,999 are at best ignorant and at worst delusional. Came here to see World War III. Mormon. It's a bunch of crazy nonsense by a known conman. Sort by controversial. Not sure if this counts, but as an agnostic who doesn't believe in anything in particular, I'd say atheists who are dead set certain that there isn't anything beyond what we know already are up there. What is a part of history that we consider to be a fact is 100 fake. Einstein never failed math. The rumor started from Ripley's Believe It or Not, and Einstein actually responded to them saying, I never failed in mathematics. Before I was 15 I had mastered differential and integral calculus. He wasn't very good at the non-science related classes though and did fail French. Martin Luther never nailed his 95 Theses to a church door. They were distributed in a series of letters. There is a joke saying that Austria's greatest success is making everyone believe that Mozart was Austrian and Hitler was German. Not sure if quite at the level you're asking for, but it seems to be common knowledge that people didn't fight back against Germans in World War II, and it's because they didn't have guns or were cowards. They fought back a lot. The largest was likely. It just turns out that normal people fighting against a military tend to do poorly. We argue about pizza toppings all the time, but what burger crimes have you witnessed? Having toppings that make the bun soggy or just fall off when you try to take a bite out of it. Burgers that are too tall. I don't want to dislocate my jaw eating that thing. Make burgers wide, not tall. There's a burger joint that the owner chef was kind of a burger Nazi. One can't alter the burger with substitution on additional toppings. 2 can't cook it anyway except for men, while 3 can't cut it. The waitress actually told me if he sees a customer cut his burger he'll ask they never come back again. Cheeseburger but with sweet blueberries inside the patties. I don't get those sugar glazed donuts or cinnamon bagel burgers. Also, living in an Asian country, we got rice patties clumped up and toasted and they become the bread. I'm not a fan. Give me a good brioche-like bread to sop up all the secret sauce. What food looks disgusting but tastes great? Mussels. Stew. Passion fruit looks like vomit frog spawn but tastes great. Cream chipped beef. Finnish Easter food mammy. Depending on how you feel about penicillin, cheese I guess. Several people I know are put off by various cheeses' appearances but will eat them happily, hidden in food or chopped up or melted, etc. Black pudding. Fresh oysters. Ops mom. Satay chicken pizza from Mr. and Mrs. Pizza on Canterbury Road, Melbourne House. Looks like the bad variety of vomit. Taste is a harmonious duet of pizza and, you guessed it, drool. Twin Bings. Head cheese. Braunschweiger. Lentils. My homemade baba ganoush. I leave some of the charred skin in and use tons of parsley. Tastes great but looks sad. Bubble squeak can look a bit dodgy but tastes great. Pea soup. Mofongo. Morcilla. Sashimi. Dog lovers in Reddit, what is the cutest dog breed? My dog. All of them. Mutt. Australian Shepherd. I used to have 2 great big dogs, a Great Pyrenees and a Malamute Mutt. Both of them were marshmallows. I am a sucker for huskies, their eyes are just so beautiful. Golden Retriever. I love my Golden Retriever, I love my German Shepherd and I love every dog I see. Humans not so much. Chocolate Labrador because they're like dumb miniature bears. Wheaten Terrier. I'm basic AF but I love Golden Retrievers and Labs. Also any long-nosed dog breed like Borzoi, Greyhounds, Silk and Windhounds, Podencos. I find them adorable. Aussie enthusiastic about literally everything but I'm also biased. Beagles. All of them. Corgi, Beagles, 2 Hearts, and I am totally not biased. Bernese Mountain Dogs. Everything except for the fucking Chihuahuas. All the breeds. Serious, when are people going to mass revolt against the current conditions of the world? If history is right, hunger is the main motivator. Ask yourself, when will you do it? Your answer will be the same as almost everyone else's. When the food runs out. When those conditions affect them personally and are inflicting enough pain. Maybe it also needs a little bit of hope to counter the apathy. When the distraction is gone. Okay, you revolt. But then what? What's your plan? What's your plan after you overthrow whatever you wanted to overthrow? And what makes you think you can establish and maintain a better system than the one currently in place? What makes you think you can prevent corruption and bad actions that led to the situation you wanted to revolt against in the first place? What makes you so sure your revolt won't leave you in an even worse position than the one you're currently in? People will not do shit until their phone fails to have service. What is a clear sign a movie sucks? I had a classmate in college named Andre. He was a great person and fun to be around, but the movie sucks if Andre picks it. The movie would never be so bad it's good. No, his picks simply sucked. Everybody has a talent. We're 20 minutes in and you don't care what happens to any of the characters. Edit, thanks for the award. Too many celebrities cliches. When it's so dark you can't see anything. Sequel without the original cast. You start making fun of the character's logic not even 10 minutes into the film. Frank Capra had a great quote for my answer. There are no rules in filmmaking, only sins. And the cardinal sin is dullness. If they add a random controversial issue that has nothing to do with the plot. What instrument do you think is the most annoying? This thread needs more cowbell. Vuvuzela, mayonnaise, triangle, kazoos, college freshmen strumming the guitar, recorders, flutophones. Even as a kid I hated their sound. I don't know. I play percussion. The instruments aren't annoying, it's the people. That endoscope thing they put down your throat. I gagged for days. Bagpipes. Or rather if you live near anyone learning them. It's rough. Real rough. Drums. Saxophone. Harmonica. The didgeridoo. When played properly it's beautiful, but I lived with a roommate who tried to learn it for 6 months and it sounded like a large animal in extreme pain. A lot of Irish people where I live and a lot of Irish music, and man, those things sound like someone screaming for help. Clarinet. They just sound whiny and droopy. Jaw harp. Makes my nose itch and tingle the entire time I use it. Non-Americans, what American food do you find questionable? Is this for another BuzzFeed article? I witnessed a Turkish friend's first corn dog. He grabbed it and started eating it, not understanding what a corn dog was. After the first bite, he was so surprised and bursted into excitement. Whoa, there's a hot dog in here. He loved every bite and went back for about 5 more. My mind is boggled by the amount of comments saying spray cheese. I've lived in the US my entire life, 40 years, and worked in a grocery store for many years. I've never had it, and I've rarely seen people buy it. I think it is a niche thing. Definitely not flying off the shelves. It's just so interesting seeing so many comments about it. Is that how we are advertised in other countries? Americans of Reddit, what is the worst big city in the USA and why? Bakersfield, California. Nothing but meth and strip malls. Scrolled through and did not find my Bakersfield or Fresno. Pretty sure the devil has part-time vacation homes in both of them. Bakersfield. East, stopped once for gas. Didn't think I was going to make it back on 55. I haven't been to every city in the US. But Baltimore could use a little cleaning up since we're on the subject. I think every city has great parts. But emo worst parts of Baltimore is pretty out there. If you like your coffee, how you like your women. How do you like your coffee? Without other people's dick in it. Black and full of white stuff. Ground up and in the freezer. Thick as fuck. Willing to let me put my penis in it. Emo e-girl mentally unstable. Not sure how that can be a coffee. Like I like my slaves. Free. Spilling onto my windshield because I forgot I left it on the roof of my car. Brown and sweeter than should be allowed. Hot and filled with cream. Strong, black and ice cold. Cold face. I don't like women. But I love coffee. Black and strong, mostly bitter with a touch of sweet. I don't like coffee. Silent. Imported from Venezuela. I like my coffee funny, pretty and intelligent. Sweet and robust. White and hot. I don't like coffee. Strong. In bed. To quote Tom Waits, coffee strong enough to defend itself. Sweet, strong and milky. With my dick in it. Bad luck. Bootsy. What actor/actress plays themselves in every movie? Danny McBride. Stan Lee, P. Stuff. Jason Statham isn't himself, but he's always the same guy. Jennifer Lopez played Selena, and then she was just J.Lo in everything else. Kevin Hart, The Rock. Michelle Rodriguez as a tough girl in every movie. Hector. I think some of these actors are very capable of different roles, but if they're making bank playing the same kind of characters, then they're obviously gonna milk it for as long as they can. I feel like I'll get raked over the coals for this, but Jennifer Coolidge. I love her, but she always plays some sort of variation of herself. Mark Wahlberg with his question statement self. Ryan Reynolds. If you could make one thing illegal, what would it be? All telemarketing and spam. I would make children's beauty pageants illegal. I just never grasped the concept and will never understand how parents just want to objectify and exploit their children like this. WTF are there grown folks judging these little children based on their looks? It's incredibly disgusting and should be banned and made illegal in my opinion. Lobbying and all of the legal insider trading of politicians. Those fucking headlights. For me it's a toss-up between our politicians being able to trade stock and make money outside of their salary, or large rental companies buying up single-family starter homes. Lying in politics. Being a career politicians and spending more time in office than 6 US presidents. Jacking up the cost of insulin. What is something most people don't realize is very addictive? Not doing things. Binge-worthy TV. Social media. I'm cutting back the first of the year. Not Reddit but Facebook. Smiley face. Shopping. Going on Reddit answering questions. Stress. Relationships. One thing I've never heard anyone talk about is self-harm. It provides some sort of release and is very addicting. Sugar. Reddit. Attention. Running. Scrolling in social media. Reels. TikTok. Whatever. Social media. Drama. Everything. I think most people don't realize that everything can be addicting. Video games. I'm talking addictive to the point of ruining lives. I've seen it happen. Porn and masturbation. Chapstick. The more you use it, the less your lips moisturize themselves naturally, so the more you need it. It's a classic addiction pump. Alcohol. Weed. Alcohol. People who are still practicing social distancing, what is your reasoning? I was practicing social distancing before it was cool. And before it was mandated. Don't want to be close to people. Get the fuck out of my personal space. People who are so comfortable breathing down others' necks, what's your issue? Several reasons. 1. I've always had a personal bubble. 2. People annoy me. 3. I've seen how nasty people are not washing their hands. putting their hands in their mouths, noses, coughing on them and then touching everything. I don't want your colds, germs, or fluids anywhere near me. 4. I don't get colds, I go straight to bronchitis level coughing and it lasts for weeks. It's miserable and no doctors can figure out why, so I'd rather not get sick. I fucking hate people. Edit. Why the hell is this my most popular comment? Lol.